Hello, you find us back at Premier Smart Repairs with Kevin Thurlaway, and we have been working on young Boris, our new project car to replace the lovely Betty. And we've been doing paint, we've been respraying bumpers and stuff like that, but now we're going to do a smart repair on the inside. And as you can see here, we have the lovely leather interior, as you would expect from a top-end luxury car like a Subaru Legacy Outback. However, this car's done nearly 300,000 miles, and that's had 300,000 miles of bottom here. This is the driver's seat. And as a consequence, firstly, the seat's sort of looking a little bit tired. Secondly, it's also got some damage as a result of repeated bottom-on leather action. And we're going to be able to fix that today, aren't we?
We are, yes. Predominantly, it's where a lot of damage occurs in most cars, is where obviously on the driver's leg sits. So in this case, we have cracked leather to the bolster part, and now it's over to basically define how far a customer wishes to go to in terms of a repair.
So if we took this, for example, to a professional leather company as a seat, they would probably strip it all, clean it, strip it all back, and then re-dye the whole seat.
Yeah.
But this is a smart repair. This is a small, medium area repair technique. So we're going to do just that. Tell us how.
Well, what we're going to do is, the purpose of leather repairs is obviously to get a seat looking to better. So like new, so to speak. But the techniques that we use are slightly different to full restorations. And the biggest factor is to identify the colour. So to identify the colour, we use I don't personally, but they use a photo spectrometer. So what that will do is that will scan the original colour, similar to what we did with the paint, where it will scan and give a code, and then different paint tints will go in to mix the colour. Mm-hmm. Now, within smart repairs, we don't have that luxury of having, I do believe, around about £6,000–7,000 worth of equipment to identify a colour. So what options do we use? Well, it's mixed by eye, and that's by the techniques of the guy who's actually repairing the leather.
You,
so
in this case.
In this case, me.
And that's the thing. This is again boiling down to the whole experience thing. I mean, I've played around with mixing leather. I've watched other people playing around with mixing leather colours. And yes, you put in. It gives you, there are various sort of menus, so you know roughly what you're putting in weight-wise.
Yeah.
But it's the final tweaks to the hue and the tints and all the rest of it that make the difference.
Yeah.
But you've got a couple other tricks up your sleeve, so to speak, in terms of what areas you choose to colour and how you blend in, don't you?
So obviously a full restoration is the complete seat, and we want to try and avoid that. But as a paying customer probably won't realise that the purpose of what he's wanting to achieve is his bolster repaired, is he probably won't be aware of how much dirt and oils and grease is actually in the napper of the leather. So if we just go on and paint the bolster, there will be a complete difference in colour because we've got a dirty seat. So the purpose of a smart repair is to try and make sure that it's disappeared, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And you don't want to equally match the colour to the dirty leather, because then he goes off to cleaning it and it looks very odd.
So what we're going to do in this case is we're going to clean the seat first, then that will give us the original colour of the seat. So then instead of keeping it to just the bolster, we will then blend the paint within the bottom half of the seat.
So it's just like we did the smart repair on the bumper. We fixed the actual damage, the crack in this case, and the scratches. We painted over that properly, and then we blended that with the existing paint on the car, so that it is pretty much invisible unless you're under lights or a detailer. Yeah. I just want to, before we go any further, just do a little health and safety note. This car, as with many other cars, had its side airbags in the seat. So what you'll find when you're taking a seat out, if you do wish to take a seat out, which for this sort of work does make life a lot easier, you will find a yellow plug underneath your car. That is the airbag plug. If you have any sort of static charge from that, you will hear a large bang, your face will get some sort of white powder over it, and you will feel very unhappy and very silly, and also you might die. So what we recommend doing is you disconnect the battery from the car and wait. Some people say wait 15 minutes, some people say wait an hour. I would err towards the latter just from the whole safety thing. Yeah. And then when you do take the seat out, same principle applies. If you put the battery back on since doing that, you will get an airbag light for a start, but what you need to do is make sure the battery's off and has been off for a while. And again, try and just be sensitive to your static elements. So if you're on a carpet like this, don't sort of run around and build up the static, because again, you know, death. So that's just my health and safety thing, and I will now be quiet and let Kevin back take over.
So, right, first of all, what we need to do is we need to clean the seat. So what we're going to do, what I like to do first of all, especially on camera, is just to show how dirty the seat actually is. So if we went to paint straight away, what we would be painting over. Yeah.
And although this car's been remarkably well looked after, I mean, when we show it to people, they're amazed that it's done. When we first rolled up and Kevin guessed the mileage at 70,000, and he's a detailer, so you can imagine how well the car's been kept. However, my suspicion is, looking at this leather, looking at some of the marks around, that it hasn't actually been regularly cleaned. So we're hoping for a really exciting as you can get with a 50-50 on this leather, and I suspect it's going to more or less change colour.
It will do, which in the grand scheme of things, it will be, hopefully, a fantastic looking brand new seat, which therefore when it goes back into the car, we have a driver's seat and we have the rear seats that
and
will
the passenger seat, etc.
Yeah,
so what we're going to do is leave all of those with Kevin to do, and we'll leave Matt, the cameraman, as well, so that I have a nice quiet trip home. But no, we won't. The answer is that we will be also cleaning the other seats in due course in the car. So that's no biggie. Are there any other tips? I've noticed, for example, there's dirt here in the seat belt. We've got plastic around here, a different sort of carpet under here. I guess it's all worth doing them at the same time to get it pristine. The other thing I want to mention briefly, now we have talked about this in other sort of leather programs and kind of around and about and in the magazine for sure, is that leather, you don't go and slaughter a cow, cut it up and put it on a seat. There's a couple more processes going that. If you look in issue 3, it explains in more detail, but the long and short of it is that what I am touching here, the surface I am touching, is not cow, it's plastic, essentially. It's the coating. So all the leather is coated and we're essentially cleaning the coating.
Yeah.
And then from a painting point of view, we're stripping that coating away and then painting over the top and recoating on top of that.
To a certain extent, yes. I mean, we're not fully removing the top coat as well as the paint. What we're going to do is similar to the car, is we're going to basically scuff that up so the new paints actually stick to the original.
And then reseal, which is
and
really
then
important.
reseal, yes. So in theory, yeah, that's what we're going to do.
So great stuff. Also note how we got emblazoned like a Rolls Royce. Anyway, moving swiftly on, Kevin, I'm guessing your next mission is going to be doing some rubbing with brushes and stuff like that. I see you've got a range of products behind you. We've got a mixture of Colour Lock and Furniture Clinic. Oh, you've hooked yourself in. Now, we have tested all of these products before, in fact, and we think that Furniture Clinic and Colour Lock are both very, very strong products. I see, what is FlexiFill?
FlexiFill is a flexible filler for cracked leather. So in this case, we have no open seams, or it isn't like split, or it isn't torn. So in this case, where we have got deep cracks within the bolster, this is what we'll use to fill those prior to.
Kind of like body filler, but flexible.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. Cool. And I'm sure we will hit on all the other products and funky little equipment that you've got there later on, once we've got the cleaning phase undone. I'll hand over to you.
Yeah.
So we have been cleaning the seat, even I've been getting my hands dirty. And what we've done as a demonstration really on cleaning, because it's very tempting on anything, and I've had experience of this when selling car care products many, many years ago, everybody always wanted the strongest possible option straight away. But with leather, I think part of the key is only go as strong as you need to remove the dirt that you want to remove, and that way you've got less risk of taking off the top coat and the colour and all the more important things you want to keep. So, Kevin, can you explain what these 3 sections are that we've done?
So what we wanted to show is, first of all, with a very mild cleaner, and then if that's just not cutting the mustard, as people say, is then just trying another mild cleaner. So then we've got 2 stages of a mild cleaning, and after we've achieved that, is literally look at the seat of how far we want to go in terms of the cleaning attributes, because if we start to push boundaries, that's when problems can occur. So what we've demonstrated here is we've done 1 of mild cleaner, and then in the center section we've done 2
of the same
mild cleaner, and then we've stepped it up to the next, which is a strong cleaner. So we've only done 1 option here. So as you can see, you can where the tape lines are and the 50-50 of how dirty the seat actually is. So in this case of how dirty the seat is, and it's going to be painted and coated anyway, we would just go straight in with the strong cleaner, with the base. With the backrest, what we'll do is you can distinctively see at the bottom where people's backs, there's a lot of oils around here, but in the corners it's not too bad. So I will start to hit it with a mild cleaner, and then down probably here we would need to go up to and step it up to the strong cleaner. So hopefully.
Cool. And in all of these, as it happens, we've used Colour Lock, but there are obviously brands out there and they offer different strengths of cleaner. We just happen to like the Colour Lock foaming cleaner system, and that's why it's been used. So in summary, even one hit of cleaner, and bear in mind the first bit of dirt to come off is probably the easiest bit of dirt to remove.
Correct.
So even the mild cleaner here, there's a significant difference. And I also want to draw your attention to gloss. Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people might think that shiny leather is good leather, but shiny leather is actually the dirt. Leather naturally has a sort of a matte, sometimes a matte satin finish, and you can see just there's a reflection off here, whereas here it's just a sort of a movement in the gradient of light. So again, it's the importance of a single mild cleaner there for everyday use as well. If you're cleaning your car, that is a better option than going straight to the strong cleaner, particularly if you do it regularly, because if you're regularly strong cleaning, you're taking more and more of that coating off,
yeah.
And it's not a bright plan.
No.
So what we're going to do on this is strong cleaner on the base, particularly because we're going to be essentially painting it, so we're prepping the surface. But here, 2 hits of mild cleaner will probably do the job, and we'll just use a strong cleaner in little bits if needed.
Yeah.
So now the next step is going to be doing the rest of the cleaning, which will take a bit of time, a bit of elbow grease, and then we're going to get on to the actual repairing element, which we'll touch on later. So having done our sort of little demonstration of the different strengths of cleaner, what we're now going to do is get on to the repair. And this is the really clever bit. Now, what we're going to do is show you through the creation of the right color and the little sort of testing procedures, not with a view to you guys trying that at home, but just to show how much work is involved. And this is also, as Kevin was saying earlier, to do with viewing it by eye, which is a real talent to be able to say, this color's off and that color's off. And what we need to do to get from point A to point B is add color X. X. That's the sort of clever thing that we're going to do, and we'll show you a brief showing of that. And then we're going to spray it on. So when you were starting with the colour, Kevin, and you know this is a light grey, now a completely different grey from before, do you start with a base grey? How do you start with it?
What I generally do is I look towards the paint pigment. So are we looking at if you look towards the colour wheel?
Yeah. Oh, you've got one of those, haven't you? I saw that.
So if we look towards the colour wheel, we can look towards what's the prominent colour within a grey. Mm-hmm. I automatically think it's black. So I would be starting with white and black to try and generate that grey tone.
Gotcha.
If we obviously on a blue seat, you would obviously go with blue. So that's what we're going to start off with. Obviously, tint the colour. We'll do test spots, and then obviously when we find the right colour, then we'll go down to the repair and the application of.
We'll have a look at that side of things.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I tell you what, I know that creating the colour is a lengthy process, so we shall let Kevin get on with it. And once we've got a colour that's as good as or as close as we want to be, then we'll look into the application of the colour and fixing the leather.
Brilliant.
Welcome back. Kevin has been hard at work matching colours, as you've seen, and we did a little test patch here, and as it was dried, there's a little bit of footage you will have seen, it basically disappeared, which is good. It's not the paint disappearing, it's the fact that it dries and it's precisely the right colour. He's quite proud, I'm not going to lie. Now the next mission is we're going to fill the scratch, we're going to again colour it, and then we're going to protect it.
Yeah.
And then we're done.
That's it. We're done.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, I will leave you to it.
Let's get to it.
Well, we're at the end of 2 very long days up here in Teesside and Wingate. It delights me to point at this seat, which now frankly looks pretty much as new, or at least in a car that's done a sort of a moderate 60,000 miles rather than something that has done nearly 1/3 of a million miles. The stuff that we've done here, we will be featuring it in the magazine in more detail, but it has been an absolute pleasure, and we have learned so much about smart repairs, both internal in episode 2 in this episode and external in episode 1, which leaves me to say thank you very much, Kevin.
Much appreciated. Great to have you. Thank you very much.
A pleasure, and I hope you've enjoyed the filming process.
Yes. And I would just like to point out any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch.
Yeah, we will be. Kevin is on YouTube, so we'll be tagging him in here, and you can comment down below, and we shall get them on there for you. Brilliant. Smashing. Right, where to next? Thank you very much for watching this episode on our Smart Repair special. If you would like to subscribe to our channel and see some other episodes, you can click here to subscribe, and then our other videos are available there.